Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Z2X. I'm joined here again by.
X, aka Mom.
And what are we going to be talking about here today?
The movie, the follow up, because this was a part two of our Cowboy Bebop. We watched the movie, and we're gonna say how
Yes.
what we thought about
Yeah,
it.
so the full title of the movie is, I believe, because I think, because it's just called
It's
Cowboy.
Cowboy Bebop the movie. That's all it
Well,
is.
because it actually has apparently a full name, actually, like that. But
I looked it up. It
in
just says Cow.
in America, though, it didn't really like release with the full name. But the
Oh, but
actual
you're
full,
saying it.
yeah, actual full name of it is Cowboy Bebop Knocking on Heaven's Door. Is the full
Oh,
name of it, which for some reason it
but that's weird because that's the last of the series was more like that.
well, because the whole, I mean, we'll get into it later, but the whole movie had you remember that religious theme almost to it in a lot of ways. I
The
mean, the
movie
whole,
did.
yeah, the movie did. Remember, he talked about
With the
religion,
Halloween. Oh, yeah, 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 yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
and all
Okay.
and
All right.
spiritual,
The world. Okay,
yeah.
gotcha, gotcha.
But the
Oh, yeah, I gotcha.
yeah, so um,
And it was
which
released in 2020, 2002.
yep, in international markets, it was released simply as Cowboy Bebop the movie,
Yeah.
but in this
And that's where you
Japanese
can
name.
find it.
Yes, in
Yeah.
2000 it was released, yeah, 2001, I think late 2001 actually.
No, I'm looking at it. It says release date was August 30th, 2002.
Uh, because
I'm just looking right up.
I'm looking up on the Wikipedia, it was
I
2001
know, right?
September
Yeah. And
September 1st.
IMDb says it's 2001 too, but I'm just looking at the overview for I don't know why it says that, but
I
that's what it
imagine that
says.
might be just incorrect then.
But the setting was
Oh, in the US,
2071.
it was released in August 11th,
Oh, okay.
2002.
Okay.
But
That makes more sense
so
then. Yeah.
the movie takes place roughly in the middle. I'd also recommend it if you could, if you don't know about the series, watch our review first in our previous one. You can probably put it up on screen or like have like a
Yeah.
link or
I'll
something.
try to. Yeah. Try to do a link. I'm not
But
very good at all that
all right,
stuff.
but I think because it's mostly done through YouTube's integration systems. But
Oh, yeah. Sometimes I can't. You might come and help me if I
yeah,
get to that
the
point.
but it was released, yeah, I think 3 years after the original, because it was the original was 1998. Um, but it takes place in between the series, not after it. It takes place between episode 22 and 23.
Uh-huh.
Um, and because I mean after the ending of 20 or of 26, but I think it's a really long one, by the way. I would say any
Yeah. It was almost two
yeah,
hours.
it was 115 minutes. It was off for being two
You mean
hours by
150
no
minutes?
100. What's 150 minutes? That's like 3.5 hours.
I mean, I'm sorry, an hour and 51 minutes.
Yeah, no, an hour and 15 or
And
115 minutes
yeah,
is, yeah,
sorry.
is 5 minutes shy from being 2 hours. So
Oh,
but
sorry.
the
My brain
but
stopped.
yeah,
It's
no,
been a long week, guys.
yeah,
A long week.
but
Okay, go
the
on.
um so I would recommend for anyone to watch this before you finish the series, because it basically fills in the length of 5 episodes. The general idea of it is it's kind of like a canned story on its own, but it's effectively the general plot is it's like a little bit like a little bit before Halloween on Mars. There's like this terrorist event, which kind of an unfortunate time to release, by the way, like right, September, right
Yeah,
before September 11th.
2011 or
Yeah,
1. Yeah,
I that because
9/11.
sentiment about that was really, especially because there's also a lot of Arabic stuff in the film. I don't know.
Oh, yeah, I forgot there is a
I
lot of
don't.
Arabic
I'm
stuff. The
genuinely curious
Moroccan.
what the sentiment is like around that time of what people thought, because at that
Uh-huh.
time stuff became really polarized
I
related
have
to
to
that.
say that was actually kind of cool aspect how they had it and the
Oh,
guy
it
who
was really cool.
when he went to Morocco and the well in Mars.
Yeah, it was
Mars
like
is Morocco.
because the whole thing is on the planet. It was like like Mars, from what it looks like, is almost like a Las Vegas or LA, where it's like a bunch of different
Yeah,
places,
yeah,
like
yeah, it
how like
seems like that.
LA has like, Little China and stuff. And they like recreate Earth spots on Mars, that from what I
Uh-huh.
can see. But
Yeah.
so to give, I guess, a little rundown, I also got the Wikipedia here to give it the general gist. um, is Faye Valentine witnesses a terrorist blow up a tanker truck while they're chasing something else. Which then
Uh-huh.
it's like this bio weapon that's released and starts killing like a bunch of people or making them very sick. And a
Yeah, it
humongous
makes them
bounty
very
is
sick if
given
they die.
to this guy. Um, the terrorist is identified as this guy called Vincent, which was this soldier who was like given all like these like passage pathogens and was believed to die in Titan, which I think was the same war that Viscous or Vicious was part of.
Oh yeah, the Vicious, and then that one, the other guy that
Yeah,
from the the Jupiter moon or something like
the
that.
red another other guy from the Red Dragons. Yeah.
Yeah,
Um.
yeah, yeah.
Um.
So it definitely plays off the series. It's kind of an in between the episodes, and you
Yeah.
can you'll it
Yeah.
once
Yeah.
you're watching it, you'll see it.
That's what I said. It was between 22 and
Yeah.
23. I don't want to give the hugest, but I'll say anything from this onwards is spoilers. I genuinely recommend you watch it because it's got a fun mystery to it. But
Uh-huh.
basically, it's actually not a virus, but it's this nano machine that then he plans on like killing everyone with. And this antagonist is very much like a scary guy. Like he even like it's one of the only times you see in the series, except for um like the Mad Pierre episode where you
Yeah.
actually see
Mhm.
Spike like freaked out or afraid of anything.
Uh-huh.
And he is planning on releasing it on Halloween, and Spike almost even
The
gets
virus, yeah.
killed from this guy the first time they meet. But let me look right here. I mean, all the whole story. I mean, they do a bunch of stuff in it, but it kind of climaxes and them fighting on the roof. And there's a big thing and like plot line with like one of the scientists who created this nano machine originally being this like
Yeah.
Moroccan guy that helps Spike in like I guess mini Morocco
Yeah.
and talks like almost like spiritually and some stuff. I mean, you have
Yeah,
like
he acts like kind of a spiritual guru, but then you find out Spike finds out who he really is, that he's the guy that created all
yeah,
it's basically a biological warfare
yeah,
that they had done.
yeah, exactly.
But it was
It's
and I, and some of the reviews were saying it didn't have a very good storyline. I'm like, "Are you kidding me?" It had a
yeah.
great storyline.
Yeah, I feel like it I feel like as a whole because also the inclusion of Laughing Bull again in the movie
Uh-huh.
who like
Yeah.
helps
Yeah.
Spike out and like kind of saves him.
Yeah.
Um and he really like I think it adds to the story that you see by the end of the series as a whole. And if you
Yeah.
watch it in between,
Mhm.
it really adds to those themes that are built up, like the very spiritual themes as well in the
Yeah.
story because the whole end let me look it up movie ending card for Cowboy Bebop. There, because it was like, um, God, there was a certain like the certain ending card they had for the movie was spit like kind of I think tied into the whole theme because this guy kept on talking about God and living
Well,
in like
because he
reality.
had a really bad life, and then when he was, like, basically given
He
this
got
virus,
amnesia and stuff.
yeah, it made him have amnesia, and then he didn't really know why he was there. So it made him question life in general. And then he was like kind of like almost prophesizing for himself and saying, well, I need to die so I can see God. And is there really a death anyway? Do we really die? Like he just kind of loses his marbles, at
He
the end of the,
brings up a few like the villain brings up a few points, but mainly it's just to avoid the truth because
yeah,
eventually, even after he like lost his memories, he ended up almost like building a new life and then abandoned it out of his own like basically desire to learn about his past and unable to accept the real world.
yeah,
Which the ending phrase on it like literally says, "Are you living in the real world?" That's what
yeah,
and because he's so unwilling to live in the real world and he talks about like he because there's like the bridge from spiritual stuff there's like Buddhist like Christian
uh-huh,
like references to God. I mean the movie's title like Heaven's Door, he's always trying to find this door to escape what he feels like this is like his dream he's living in, which also by the
yeah.
end of the series you realize mirrors Spike in a way um
Yeah, mhm,
where
yeah. 'Cause Spike's kind of, like, not really kinda stuck in the past too.
yeah and like and that's why I think Vincent was a really good also like partial mirror to him, not as good as like Vicious as a whole. um
Yeah.
but the whole thing is that Spike real like he wasn't truly living his best life that he could because he still needed to finish stuff.
Yeah.
And then once he did, it didn't matter whether he was alive or dead. He finally was like awake, and that's what the bang at the very end of Cowboy Bebop I feel like symbolized was like him waking up, whether he's still
Yeah.
alive or dead. He's finally up. But Vincent realized at the end of the film that he actually was awake the entire time, and
Uh-huh.
he had no reason to hold on to this. And he realizes that like he was just wasting his time by like avoiding like and
The
unable to
people
move
that cared
forward.
about him. Yeah,
Yeah,
and avoiding the people that really did care about him, actually living his life, blah, 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 blah.
yeah, because he believed
Yeah.
everything was like this like cruel purgatory state he was in,
Yeah, yeah.
and
It
yeah,
was I thought it was really good.
yeah, and that thematically
I
ties really close to the rest of the
yeah,
series.
and the whole storyline, I mean, it's a very, kind of cliche in a little way, the military bad, people come and save the day, they're doing things behind the people's back. But then you realize, like the guy, Vincent's girlfriend, she too was injected with the virus antibodies, and she was fine, she was living her life, and she was trying to be a part of his, but he was kind of in his own weird, he lost his marbles basically
Yeah,
when
the
they, I think it was because when they deleted his memory, he could kind of have some of it, but like he was like, "Oh yeah, you're the girl I used to love." Like he said that to
I
her when he was
by the
dying.
end of the movie, I think like he fully regained all of his memories,
Yeah.
or like that past. But the whole thing is because he basically just created a hate vendetta against the people who wronged him, because the
Yeah, but
whole
then he was going to punish everybody,
yeah
which is crazy, right?
the whole idea because he felt like this was all a dream. Basically, he was gonna like do one last thing and rid everyone of
Uh-huh.
it, like almost like Revelations.
Yeah, yeah.
But the a big like thematic tie too is the fact that like I mean I think it makes sense because they already showed multiple episodes with Jet Blacks that like the government is very corrupt in Cowboy Bebop. That was a very
Yeah,
constant
yeah.
theme that they were
Mhm.
always doing shady stuff. Like I mean Pierre was literally an experiment that they ran
Oh,
on
that's
a
right.
guy that
That's
was
right.
basically
Mhm.
not no better than a child mentally.
Yeah,
And it's a
That's
very
right.
similar experiment they ran here. It's just like
Mhm.
it just proves that they keep on like doing this stuff where they've got a ton of dirty laundry. Uh,
Yeah.
and that's why they're trying to cover this up because the overall and I mean even in the movie remember the government fights like two different branches of it. They're like because they're so disconnected from each other that they don't even know
Yeah.
what each other are doing.
That's true, that's true, and I really liked it. I thought it was really good. I love the Moroccan part where he was going back and forth and, they were talking in riddles to him and everything, and he's like, "Come on," like Spike. He was talking riddles to Spike, and Spike figured it out. And, what's her name? Faye was in it too. The other ones were kind of in it, but more in the background, and then they introduced that other female that was, Vincent's,
Girlfriend or
girlfriend.
ex-girlfriend.
She
Yeah.
also, yeah, who also worked in the military. I thought it was all really good. I was just really, really surprised at the Rotten Tomatoes that the critics gave it a 68%, but the audience gave it a 90%. So
Yeah.
that just goes to show you how
all
good it is.
all I'm gonna say is a lot of these critics that are giving it like I'm looking at them, either it's people that are
You're
like
like, I'm looking at you.
I'm looking at them. A lot of
Uh-huh.
these people got a little too high of a BMI to be talking so much smack. That's all I'm saying. I'm looking at I see their
Uh,
photos right here, these reviewers.
are you serious? Are you serious?
Yeah, yeah, hold on.
Uh,
Let me show you. Let me show you this one. You ever heard the phrase like a tank is still visible in the fog of war?
oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Without even zooming in, I can see it.
Let me see.
Such a
Oh
dumb
yeah.
review,
Oh
by
my
the way.
goodness. Oh my gosh. Oh yeah.
Yeah, right there.
Yeah.
A
Well,
tank is
apparently she did, and it maybe uh no, she reviewed it in 2019. Wow. Because I was like, oh, maybe because of, the
the time.
9/11, but
No,
no,
not a
no.
single reviewer brings up 9/11
He
in it,
gave
by
it
the
a
way.
3.5, and it's crazy how something with so many pieces can still feel so slow and bland. Wow, really? And it's crazy that she said that when she was saying some anime fans will be horrified by that statement, but there it is. Well, yeah, I am horrified because it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah,
I'm not horrified. I'm dumbfounded. I'm just dumbed down. She dumbed me down.
yeah, but
Sorry, Rachel Wagner, but
more
I
like
I
Rachel
beg to
Wanker.
I beg to differ, sweetie. Even me, who's not even a big anime fan, I even though it was long, it did not feel that way because it
Yeah.
was
Well,
very
because there's
action
a lot
packed.
of
It was
there was a lot of good moving parts in it. Also, a lot
yeah,
of really good gags. Still, I think even though it was more
yeah.
serious, there was still some really funny gags in there.
Yeah,
Um,
and you're right. It was more serious this time than others. I mean, they're all. I think they all had little off and on seriousness, but um, I don't know. I really
yeah,
liked it. I
which
thought it fit really good with the whole because that's what it was supposed to do, is a little bit of a piece in there, with the whole of it. Right? Wasn't it?
yeah,
Was it made
yeah,
after the series?
yes, it was made after the series, 3 years after the series concluded.
Yeah.
Uh,
Okay. So yeah. So it kind of did give a little bit of, I mean, not really a background. It was, gosh, it just kind of reminds me a little bit of Firefly. I always go back to that. But Firefly, their movie kind of it wrapped
well,
it up.
I don't
This
think
didn't wrap it up.
no.
It was like showing in
What it
between
was
stuff.
more of what you like.
Yeah.
It's
Hmm.
something that I think it's like a DLC. It adds to the original in a good way
Yeah.
without
Yeah. Yeah.
transforming the original significantly. It's still like if you look at thematically and the themes to it, it's still a very welcome addition to the pre-existing themes that Bebop has. Which also,
Yeah.
looking through the reviews, even the ones that are negative all agree. The movie looks great, by the way.
Yeah.
The animation of it's really fantastic. Like in the third act of the movie, like where he's flying uh his spaceship around,
Yeah.
like all that's like really well done. It looks excellent. And the movie also, the original series was in a 4:3 aspect ratio, which means it has like black bars on the side. The movie was made for 1.85 to 1, which can roughly translate to 16:9 and is easily translatable to 16:9, which is
Yeah. It didn't look
effectively like a
weird.
regular. So and that's what made it look so much more modern, is because it didn't
Hmm.
have this like compressed aspect ratio. It felt very modern despite having the old more cell shaded style,
Yeah.
which significantly improved its visual, I think, fidelity, and just made it like really excellent.
Yeah.
uh,
I agree.
and
I totally agree.
yeah, every single part of the movie, I think it's just like, I mean, one, it's super long. You're effectively adding 5 episodes to Cowboy Bebop,
Yeah.
with this one plot thread, but it all wrapped itself up nicely. It all made sense. It was all very cool. I think it was really great movie that's really just like unforgettable, and I think that if you hadn't watched it before, you should watch it in between 22 to 23 of Cowboy Bebop. Um,
Yeah, and I'm glad that you said that because we did do that.
yeah,
Even though we're doing this second as a part two, we did that and it was perfect. It really
yeah,
was. Because
because
then when you went back to the ending, then you figured out, oh, this is kind of like all that life, death, and afterworld and finding your
Afterlife,
peace. Yeah, it all kind of like just
it
went together.
it ties together really strongly, and there's a lot of things where it challenges Spike as a character as a whole too, and
Yeah.
like meaningfully like points out, like, for example, when he didn't care about the life of that one woman at the start of the film, and
Yeah.
was like, well, blah blah, I don't care, it doesn't matter, and then he gets put in the exact same scenario later. It's like, so it's like very clever callbacks, I think,
Yeah.
in
I
the
agree. I agree. I
in
would
good
give it
setup.
definitely what I did with the episodes, definitely a 9 out of 10
Yeah,
or 9.5 out of 10.
I,
It was really good.
I would,
I
yeah,
I like the Cowboy Bebop theme. I like their characters. They're fun. It's not too intense by any means. Um, it's just very well written and it has good storylines. It's kind of my genre, noir,
yeah,
detective
it's
bounty hunter type things. For me, I really liked, and when I saw on like again, the Rotten Tomatoes were 90% for critic or for audience. Yeah.
yeah, I mean.
Yeah,
It's
I that's
self-described as a space western and neo-noir hybrid, which I think
it,
matches it very
it's
well.
100%. It's very, very descriptive of what it is. Do you have anything else to say about it before we go?
I would say I would probably give it a 10 simply from the fact that the visuals were such an improvement because
Yeah,
anime
you're
movies
right. It
have a
was really good.
significantly higher budget um than other like types of media, right? Like for example, a
Yeah,
show has less of a budget than a movie does per episode. So you can do a lot more and because of its I mean aspect ratio it's made later it's just can improve on what was good about the original series
yeah,
spectacularly um which just makes it a really really good watch to be by the way a little warning though if you don't take it from like any if you don't watch it on like something like one of those other sites that you can download stuff from like if you want to watch it on a TV or I should
we
say
watched it
if you want to
on
acquire it legally, it will cost you $15, by the way,
yeah,
to own the
we had
movie.
to because there's no renting, you had to buy it. That
Yeah.
is true. Thanks for reminding me on that because I
Yeah.
completely forgot that. We did have to buy it, which is good for me because I actually enjoy rewatching this, which is surprising that but I do. Oh,
Yeah.
I heard your knock your thing
My
again.
oh
It
yeah, yeah, yeah,
echoes.
sorry, I moved it a little bit.
Yeah,
But
it was just funny. But
yes.
yeah, that's all. You're right. Good for reminding that you'd have to find another way because you can't really rent it. And we even have Crunchyroll, but on Amazon you have to buy it, or you can try to find some other place to watch it. We can't say how or
Yeah, you're
what, or
not a
maybe you know what? We didn't look on YouTube to rent.
No,
We forgot to
I
look at
looked
YouTube to
on
rent.
YouTube. It wasn't on YouTube to rent. Yeah,
Well, there
you
might be other something that we might not know that there's a
but
rent that people can find it. Anyhow, so yeah, that is the only other
yeah, that
issue
is
that you wouldn't have.
I would say though because we split it 50-50. I would still say though it was still worth it because
Yeah. Mhm.
the movie was just really good. Like I imagine if I watched this in theaters like when it came out, it
Oh
would
yeah, it would have been really good.
every now and then. I mean, maybe if we ever get the chance, because I know they sometimes do like those, like for example, for like the Miyazaki stuff, like Spirited Away, they like released them in theaters
Yeah.
at one point.
Uh-huh. Yep.
If I ever got the chance to watch one of those in like theaters, I think I definitely would buy a ticket because
Yeah. Mhm. Yeah.
definitely would have been really
I
good.
would too. It would have been really good.
But
Anyway,
yep,
that's all
that's
I have
all.
to say. I really liked it.
Yeah, I think it's really good. All the reviewers suck. I mean, the audience score is 90%, which is a 9 out of 10.
Yeah,
So,
that's what I would have said.
yep, and that is
That's
all.
it.
We'll see y'all later.
All right. All right.
Bye.
Bye.